the last workshop of looking at the rendering tool. This week we're going to look at the Clip Cube quickly, which is an old tool, but it's got some new functionality, and Alan's going to follow on looking at the and discussing and explaining how the data visualization function, which is new to 2017, works. So if everybody could open up the Clip Cube file that's been set up, you'll recognize the project. And the first thing to do is to, I think everybody's probably used Clip Cube or is familiar with it. But if we go to View, navigate to View, and scroll down to Clip Cube, and up pops the box showing the parameters. It's usually square to your building, so I think Clip Cube only really works well with square buildings, or anything however angles, which is fine, depends what you're trying to achieve. But I mean, it's up to you whether you want to use this or not. But it's just explaining a slightly new way of creating sections through Clip Cube. So the first thing we'll do is, if you select the Clip Cube.
Has everyone used the Clip Cube before we push up? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And hover over one of the long elevations, and it should sort of highlight in red, indicating that it's ready. If you click again on that side and pull through the building and choose a point, it's interesting. And then right-click on that plane and scroll down to Create Section Viewport. And up pops the palette, which you're familiar with, which is creating a section viewport. Let's drop it on a sheet. I don't think we need to change too much at this stage because it's just for a demonstration purpose. And just OK that, and it'll take you to the sheet. And what you'll have is a full section. So it's just another way of generating a section from your model, rather than drawing a line that might not be so precise, or it might not be quick, because you might just want to chop it up really quickly. So if you select the actual viewport, and on the right-hand side on your object info palette, scroll down to section line instances. This is where you tell Vectorworks where you want to show your marker, your section marker. So here, it's showing on my design layers. And if I had a viewport, which I don't, because I could choose to show it on there. But if that's fine, it's on my first floor design layer. We'll create a viewport. We'll pop it in there for now. So
why are you showing that much?
Probably because your design layers are. If you go to design layers, yeah, layers, yeah. Oh, right, okay. You have to go back to your Clip Cube and have a look. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, it looks like you've only got half a model. So it's clicking the bottom as well. Yeah. Yeah. So if you go back to your model, you'll see that there's a blue line that's been highlighted. If you go to Plan View, there's the marker, and there's the section line. So it's just another quick way of creating a section viewport. If we created Not at all, no. I think it's just like kind of a more malleable, hands-on way of doing it. And
I think it was quite
for sort of planning purposes, you quickly want to, and you can actually chop up a model.
Yeah, that's going to do that.
Right, well, yeah, that's cool. So, if we just create a quick viewport, so draw a rectangle around your model, and then go to View, create viewports.
You guys are right there.
I'm completely lost.
Never mind.
You can watch the video afterwards.
Yeah.
So if we just create a viewport and drop it on the sheet, so this will be a plan. I'll just quickly touch on what section line instances are, because it can be a bit confusing. So now we've created a viewport. That is called viewport. Where is it? I can't actually find the name. Anyway, there'll only be one viewport. It's the only one, isn't it? Right. So if I select the section viewport and go to section line instances on the object info palette, it's showing me that the section line is showing on my design lab. If I click on the viewport tab, I only have one viewport, so I can toggle it on there, and up it comes. And then you can actually control your section lines in here. So it's live in your annotations. So you could drag it to here, and it would Sorry. How do you what?
How do you get controlling?
Annotations.
Right. I don't get mine setting.
Right. So you select the section viewport. Click on the section viewport. Yeah, and then go to section line instances at the bottom. Now click on viewports and toggle that one on. Toggle it on. There you go, and it will show. So that's one kind of that's just demonstrating how you quickly generate a section using the clip cube. The other cool thing about the clip cube now is that if you select the clip cube, go back to model, we always have an issue with where the cut plane is in plan. And when it comes to lofts or mansard spaces, people want to show where that roof line is, or they want, whether it's a planning or whether it's a construction, just to show where the roof line is. You haven't got real control if you're just generating a viewport from your design layer. So if you select the clip cube and drag it down, you see how it cuts through the roof. Stop where you think's an interesting point, and right-click, create section viewports, and again, just drop that on your sheet. There's no need to change anything at this stage. And what you'll have is a full hidden line plan view of your roof. So it can, and I think you might have some control where in this viewport you could change those lines to dashed. You could turn off the installation. You could leave it on, depending on what stage of scheme that you could block it out for planning. So if it wanted it to be solid, you could just quite easily go to the advanced properties and attributes, merge across sections, etc., etc. But it's just another way of generating quite accurate and horizontal section viewport. And it's sometimes quite handy when you've got an interesting building to be able to sort of chop and cut through bits. And again, you might want to get advanced with your thing and cut the model up and then just save a viewport like so, like a 3D view. But,
How do you make it so because mine it's cut it off in the point of
where the section line
the
is.
other section. So that clip cube is going through there.
I'm not sure.
And it's only showing basically what's left of the model.
I think it's your
Yours
clip cube.
It's showing
The whole thing.
If you can you edit the crop? So if you double click, go.
so if I just draw it.
No.
Is that how it works?
I think you might have to go back to your model and look at why that's happening. Yeah, again, you're not displaying the whole model. You need to.
Sure, that if you
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to keep the full area of the plan that you want to sort of cut.
Yeah,
cut that.
you need to take it out.
yours was cut into it, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh
No.
right, okay.
Massive
So,
that, yeah.
so you can't really have two cuts on clip cube.
Well, you could do, but if you want to show the full plan,
The clip cube sort of behaves independently to the viewports once you set it up.
yeah.
So the clip cube is sort of a live thing that you can always be changing, and you can always use it to like isolate small
Yes.
parts of your building.
And it's saved a view.
If I move this wall back out there,
Yes.
that section
Will
still
stay.
stays.
Yes.
But this might
Update.
so I should just create a new.
I think you have to create a new clip. Clipboard.
It's very temporary. It's
Yeah, but it's just another way of sort of generating section.
Question for Max.
And then change your clip view and then
So,
one
Max
person
says,
will have two independent
the steps.
like it's so much easier.
No, it's more than
If I wrote this earlier, instead
That's the issue. That's the case. Cool. Like the tip is really good for like small areas like stairs and things like that. Tea break. Okay, yeah, we'll look at that.
Yeah, we'll look at that.
Okay. Is that's everything? Got anyone got any questions for us?
Yes, I do actually. Do you know on the line, section line
Instances,
So say for instance, if you don't have the viewport, sorry, the cube section,
Yeah.
how do you access the?
You won't have a section. You need the section.
Oh right, you need the section.
You need
And
a
viewport.
section. Yeah, a section to be able to generate this line.
The line.
Yeah, it's just
So how does it sort of records that the section line is for the actual plan, for the key plan, as opposed to the section?
through section line instances.
All right.
That's what that tool
So it
is.
sort of shows when the section.
Yeah,
is
you
going.
can
Okay.
choose which viewport you want to
Right.
show it in,
Right.
what design layer you want it to show
Oh
on.
right, I'm with you.
So and then you've got control over it inside your
And
things. Yeah, so if you move that to there, it should.
you apply it to the section.
Yeah, that would apply.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Okay. Right, we'll move on then. You guys all right? Can you put the 3 of these?
I think you just need to go for a view plane people. Not section view, but yes.
That's just not the answer now.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at
I was,
it.
so that's why we request You're about model.
Yeah, my model view is 3D view of the Q cut.
Not in the same sort of way. Yeah, the way I do it is like it's like save view and then you use. So it does work. But you have to do it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's really fair. That's what yeah, anyway, well, we were kind of open to the 2D stuff. Open to interesting questions. Investigate a bit more further. But, so moving on, we got data visualization tool, which is a new tool in 2017 that will be really useful if we start using it. So basically, it's really useful for doing like key plans of the building to describe it in different ways. It's really good for doing like reports for like building regs, or for showing like interior design types or the different sort of unit mixes of a building. So you could have colours that you just use on your normal GA plan, and then you can have another plan that would maybe show that which units are 2 beds and which are 3 beds, which are to do with like certain fire areas, which are of sort of interior type A, interior type B, and then you can have different colours altogether if you're doing something more sort of polished, like marketing plans and title plans. You could turn off the colours and show completely different colours for different spaces. It also works with sort of windows and doors, but we'll just kind of focus mostly on the spaces at this stage because it's going to be the most useful. Basically, it's going to stop us having to like redraw things and just to get different colours or different sorts of data out of it. So what I've got here is I've got a plan of Pearson House, which just to use as an example, like kind of more of a live project. And we see here, if we zoom into the top one, too far, we've just got a general sort of GA plan. So you can see we've got, I think, 4 units on this floor. We've got some common areas. We've got a lift. We're just kind of focusing on the actual overall areas, not too worried about the bedrooms at this stage. So if I go to the first floor design layer and click on one of these spaces, what you can see is that occupancy organisation. So this field here, I've changed that to be the size or the type of flat that we've got. So this one, this is a 2-bed, 3-person. I've created a little kind of tiny windowless box room for the purposes of this tutorial. And then over here, if I click on the right one, you can see this is a 1-bed, 2-person. So we've just got one double bedroom in this one. So what I can now do is I can go back to the sheet layer, and I can select this first key plan. And what I can do here is on the right in your object info, you've got data visualization. Can everyone see that little panel? So if I select that, and it comes up, what I've got is I've got a load of options of different ways I can control things. So I've already set this up for sort of speed, but I'll kind of talk you through the different settings and we can maybe play around with them. The first thing to tick is to tick enable data visualization on this viewport, and that will mean that these settings take effect. You've got different record fields that you can choose from here, so you can choose from like slabs, stairs, windows, to show different sorts of information columns. But as I said, we'll just focus on space. And then you can choose any record field that's in the space object. So you've got loads of different things that you could use to display it. So for example, we could take like the space name, we could take the space type, we could look at area, we could look at the length of the room, we could say, right, any room that's smaller than the minimum sort of widths of the London plan, we could flag that up as red, and we could look at height, and then we can even use sort of custom fields down here. Where are they? Somewhere, there's so many. There's too many user-defined fields. Here we go. So I've chosen occupancy organisation, and on the left we've got operation. So there's 2 ways it can operate. You can do it by ranges, which is really good for like looking at areas and heights. So you set different ranges of like between say 25 meters squared and 35 meters squared, it should be this color, and then between 35 and 45 it should be this color. And you can just do single values, which is better for things like organization where you've only got like a small number of different types. So if we select that radio button, we'll keep these 2 ticked. At the bottom, we can choose how we want to show all the other objects that aren't spaces. So we can choose to show them as grades, grade, no fill, or normally. So I've chosen grade just so the colors get a bit more prominence. And then over here, if we've got the values list, what we need to do is we need to click edit. And we can then choose what colors we want to show. So you can change the fill, and you can change the pen. Sorry, the value. So this values list here, this big one on the right. And then if you click edit, it brings this up. Yeah. So we can choose to display it as a solid. We could choose to display it as the original. We can give it a hatch. Loads of different options there. So once we've set that up, all we need to do is click apply attributes, and that will now take effect on our viewport when we go back. And the same for 2-bed, 3-person. And what we can do here is we can, these ones on the left are pulling in the fields automatically. So it's just telling you all the different fields. So if I had more rooms, it would give me a bigger list of things here. And you can see custom, I haven't assigned those. Those are the like circulation areas. So at the minute, we can just choose to ignore it. So if I just click apply attributes there, and then yeah, custom, it's all my circulation. So I'm not really interested in that. So I'll just leave that unticked, and that will basically hide it or just display it as white. So we click OK, and you can see that now we're seeing that we've got one flat that's a 2-bed, 3-person, and there's 3 other flats that are 1-bed, 2-person. If I wanted to create a key, which would probably be pretty useful for people that aren't up to speed with the plan, you just do that manually in the annotations layer. So you draw it with fills and text. There doesn't seem to be a way to automatically update that just yet, which is maybe a little bit of a shortfall, but something we can maybe highlight with Vectorworks. So we've got a couple of other examples here. I'll kind of whiz through these because they're kind of similar. I mean, has anyone got any questions on that process? Does that seem?
Does it always put it to the back if you've got your space at the back? You know, if you draw your space over the
yes, it will be. Yeah, it's always back. So you can probably, in the viewport, if we go to classes, I think you might be able to pull the spaces forwards. You can change the order, I think. Am I making that up? I think I'm making that up. I thought you could. One thing to bear in mind actually is you can't have the class overrides turned. So if you just duplicate this layer here where I've turned everything to be kind of black to suit our kind of styles, and then I tried to go to data visualization, it says it's not possible to do it. So you just need to make sure you turn off any class overrides before you try and set it up. So similarly with this one, I think here I've used the user field. So I've used room ID, which is in the user fields at the end, to create different types. So this is interior design type A, this is B, and this is C. And I can just turn those on really quickly. Click OK, and we can now see that we've got different sort of types. So these two at the bottom are similar. They'll probably have similar kitchens and bathrooms. These two are going to be different types. If I go back to my design viewport a second, and I go to settings, that's just down in the additional data page. So room ID, sort of here. Right, I'll move on to some more interesting examples because that was a bit simple. So this one, top right, what we're going to do is we're going to set up some ranges so that we can display different sort of areas of space. So if I click data visualization, and if you will, we've selected gross area, but this would work with ceiling heights, it would work with net area, etc. And we're going to choose modify attribute ranges here. And then what we can do is if we click edit here, this time we're presented with values. So we can set maximum and minimum value. So here we could just change this to say 30. And we've got colors. We can click apply attributes, and that will now take effect. I'm going to leave 0 to 20 set as on not applied, so that those spaces are just hidden. So sort of small kind of ancillary space I'm not interested about showing in this plan. This one, so we'll maybe change that to 41. We can see we've got a fill of green, apply attributes. And then the last one, we can change that to be 42. And then we can go up to infinity here. So basically this means that if I drop a space in later that's say 100 square meters in size, it will still pick it up. Whereas if I sort of limited the value to 50, it would display as kind of a blank space later on. So it's keeping my options open. Click apply attributes, top left again. And we'll click OK and zoom in, and we can see we've now got green spaces to show right there, all kind of the right sort of area that I want, and blue, that's circulation. So less important that that's a kind of minimum area. Last one, and what this one uses is we can assign zones in Vectorworks. So if I go back to the design layer a second, I select one of my units and go to this box here, which is assign zones, and it's just below proposed areas. It's in the top section of the object info palette. And what I can do is I can assign different zones to the spaces. So for this one, this is looking at like security, so it might be useful to send to like, or a company like a door schedule, so you can see where you need to have like past 24 doors. Might be more appropriate in like an office building where you've got different sort of people that are going to visit that building, and you can restrict who accesses certain areas. So I can just put a little tick by that and say, right, that's a restricted area because it's someone's flat or someone's office. And I could also say, right, this is a renovation. So I'm going to put a tick there to say that's an existing bit of building. I could also look at sort of ventilation and heating. So we can have different areas that would have different heating strategies. We could also create new ones that could be like fire. So we can add a new zone type. And we can say, right, that's going to be fire.
Sorry, Alan, so those are like default. They're exist already.
They're default at the minute in Vectorworks, and we can edit those, and we can set our own ones up. So we can go fire, and we can say, right, protected. And that's going to mean I can produce a plan which has got all the sort of protected areas in it. And all you do is you just tick and select these, and you can see. So that's just saving my zone. You can see here below it, it tells me which zones it's been assigned to. So assigned zone 1, security, assigned zone 2, preservation, renovation. And that means when we come to the data visualization page, we can say, right, space, assigned zone 1, and we're looking at privacy here, so we can tick those. For public, I'm going to show it in a pink, and for restricted access, I'm going to show it as a green. And you can see, right, we can see very quickly we've got like a public area, which is the common areas, and then we've got restricted areas here. We might decide that this second section of the corridor is restricted, so people might only be able to get to the stairwell, and then they need a key fob to get past, that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of the sort of things you can accomplish with the data visualization tool. It's just a really useful way of sort of chucking out really quick diagrams that help to explain the building in a bit more detail without us having to redraw the spaces for different things. Does anyone got any questions? No? Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks, Max.